Hello and welcome to Maths at Home. I'm Tim. This video is the third in the series about the pairs to 10 and applying those pairs, and it's one of many videos aimed at helping parents to learn maths with their children at home. You may want to watch the earlier videos on the number bonds or pairs to 10 and the one on applying those pairs to pairs to 20 and pairs of 10s to 100. They will help children see the earlier stages that lead to pairs to 100. The first stage in applying the pairs to 10 to calculate pairs to 100 is to add up to the next 10. Start by asking your child what the next 10 is after any number up to 100. If you say 23, they should say 30. If you say 58, they say 60. If they can't answer straight away, then practice this, and if possible, use a number grid like this one, which you can get on the trickle.co.uk website. So if your child is struggling to say the next 10 after any number, then get this sheet and point to a number, and you might say it or get them to say it, 26, and move along to the next column, 30. So if we point at this one, 54, we move along to get to 60, and keep repeating this until they really can do it without this, although keep using this if they can't do it without it. If they continue not to understand it, not to be able to do it, there may be some earlier work that needs to be done in terms of understanding how these numbers are made. And also you could just practice counting in tens, making sure that they can do that as well. So once your child is confident in saying what the next 10 after any number is, they need to be able to say how many to get to the next 10. And that involves using those pairs to 10. So if I pick 25, I know the next 10 is 30, and because the units are 5, and I know 5 and 5 is 10, I'm going to say that 25 add 5 gets me to 30, or 5 more than 25 is 30. Just to repeat that, let's do it with a different number. Let's take 63 here. I know the next 10 is 70, and because I know 3 and 7 makes 10, then I can say 63 add 7 equals 70. And then remember that little phrase that we used before, because 3 add 7 equals 10, I know 63 add 7 equals 70. There are a few things that you want to make sure that your child does, and one of them is that they use that pair to 10. So if we're going 46, what we don't want to do is to go 46, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to 50. They need to know it because they know 6 add 4 equals 10, so they can apply that to say 46 add 4 equals 50. And notice that I'm using different sorts of language, more than, equals, makes, and you want to use as much of that language as you can. It's also useful to show this next 10 work with some objects because we understand number by the value of the objects as well as on a number grid and a number line. So here I've got 38, 10, 20, 30 and 8 cubes, and because I know 8 and 2, let's put those down, sorry about that noise, because I know 8 add 2 makes 10, I can see that 38 add 2 makes 40, and it'll be much easier for you to do that on the table. And if you haven't got the bricks that join together, these straws that I used in the last video, pairs to 20, will be really helpful. They're bundled in tens. So what have I got here? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 2 more, 62. What's the next 10? Well, it's 70. How many to the next 10? Well, I know that 2 and 8, I've got 8 in my hand here, 2 add 8 makes 10, so I'm going to put those together, and there I see that I've got 70. And practice that with all sorts of different numbers. Take a couple away. So there's 40, that's 46, 6 and 4 makes 10, so another 4 makes the next 10, 50. 46 add 4 equals 50. So make sure that your child can do that and work on the next 10 before you move on, and just go back and have a quick reminder about the pairs of 10s that make up 100. So if I pinch those two, we've got 8 lots of 10, so I must have taken 2 sets of 10 away. I know 8 add 2 is 10, so 80 and 20 is 100. And just a quick reminder of that before you move on to this final stage will really help. So we're going to put those two things together, the next 10 and the pairs of 10s that make 100, to work out what can be added to any number to make it up to 100, those pairs to 100. So if we take this 58 here, and using this number grid can be really helpful. We'll have a look at using the straws in a minute, but we're going to go 58. We know that if we add 2 we get to 60, and it's very easy to see that on there, but of course we know 8 add 2 is 10, so 58 add 2 is 60. And then when we get to the 60, we know that if we add 40, because we know 6 and 4 is 10, if we add 40 there, we're going to get to 100. So 58, we're going 2 and 40, and then we get 42. So if we show with our straws, if I get 58, I know I've got 2 more straws, takes it up to 60, and I know that another 4 10s are going to take it to 100. So what did I add on? I added on 42 to 58 to make it up to 100. I just want to show you now a common mistake that is made, and that is to use the pairs to 10 with the units. So we've got 8 and 2 because we've got our 58 here, but then we also use pairs to 10 with the 10s separately rather than moving to the next 10. So some children will go 58 and 52 because they've got 8 and 2 and they've got 50 and 50. But of course that's going to give us 110, and you can show them that with these straws. So we've got 50, 50 that's 100, here we've got 8 and 2 that's 10, so we've got 110. So having that model, that visual model, really helps children to see that common mistake. And of course if we do it on here, we've got our 58 to up to 60, so it's that pair with 60, and of course if we added 50 we're going to get down to 110, which is why it's useful to have these numbers on the number grid. As a practical application, use some money and ask your children to practice working out the change from a pound. So using that 58 again, if something in a shop, a couple of pencils were 58 pence, then how would they give them the change? Well, traditionally the shopkeeper would have gone 58 and then 2 pence to the next 10, 60. And they might then have given it in 10s, but here I've got some 20s. So I'm going to go 60, 80, £1. And where have I got left? 42. Because 58 and 42 is 100. And it'll be even better if you can do that in some of your local shops and ask your child get change from £1 and work out what they would get. See if the shopkeeper does it the same way.
Thank you for watching this video. Look out for more in the series of applying pairs to 10 and on generally using the different number facts like the times tables, and have a look at trickle.co.uk.